The LA Lakers have absolutely killed it this offseason. Going into the offseason, the Lakers faced some uncertainty. Much of the Lakers roster was impending free agents. Anthony Davis, Caldwell Pope, Avery Bradley, and Rondo were all unrestricted free agents. The Lakers might have been fresh off winning a title, but if they couldn't at least keep most of these guys, they would have been in a lot of trouble with other contenders like the Bucks improving. Well, the Lakers have done an excellent job so far this offseason. So far, they made a huge trade when they picked up Dennis Schroeder. They signed Wesley Matthews, JaVale McGee is coming back, and now the Lakers have just signed Montrez Harrell. The Lakers have added some really good players to what was already a championship roster. So in this video, I'm going to go over these moves and explain why the Lakers are the biggest winner of this offseason. But before we continue, if you like content like this, please like the video as it really encourages the YouTube algorithm to recommend it to more people. And please subscribe as it really helps my channel to grow. Now let's get started. First, let's start off with the most recent move. Montrez Harrell signed a 2-year, $19 million deal with the Lakers. Montrez Harrell was one of the top bench scorers in the entire league this year, which is why he took home the 6th Man of the Year award. This is an incredible pickup for the Lakers because despite winning the title, they didn't have a very good bench. Anybody could step up on any given night, but all year, nobody on the Lakers roster was a consistent third scoring option. With Harrell, the Lakers get a player who could be that consistent third option. For the Clippers, Harrell averaged 18 points and 7 boards a game while shooting a super efficient 58% from the field. Harrell is an excellent finisher out the pick and roll. He may be undersized, but thanks to his strength and explosiveness, he's an amazing finisher when he receives that pass on the road to the basket. He also has a really nice handle for a player his size, which allows him to drive to the hoop whenever he wants, and he can even score down low with his back to the basket as well. Overall, the Lakers are getting an excellent 18 to 20 points per game scorer to add to their second unit, which they lacked all year. This also will relieve the scoring burden on LeBron and Anthony Davis in the regular season. Since the Lakers can get elite offense off the bench with Harrell, that puts less pressure on Frank Vogel to play the starters heavy minutes every night. He can rest LeBron and AD without blowing huge leads because Harrell can help the second unit to produce. So not only does adding Montrezl Harrell improve the Lakers bench, but he also will help to keep LeBron and AD healthy for the playoffs. Next, I want to talk about a trade the Lakers made right before free agency when they acquired Dennis Schroeder. This was a great deal for the Lakers because they acquired a quality point guard without giving up too much. They gave up the 28th pick, which isn't that big of a deal, and they gave up Danny Green, which is addition by subtraction. Danny Green is a good 3-and-D player in the regular season, but we all know he's a pure bricklayer in the playoffs, and he's definitely not going to hit the shot when it counts. With Schroeder, the Lakers land a quality guard who should fit right alongside LeBron and AD. He averaged 19 points and 4 assists per game on OKC this year, on 47% shooting from the field, 38% from 3, and 84% from the free throw line. CP3 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander received most of the credit for OKC's success, but Dennis' scoring and playmaking off the bench was also valuable, which is why he was 2nd and 6th Man of the Year voting. This addition makes the Lakers even deadlier because they already have the league's best duo between LeBron and AD, but by adding a near 20 points per game scorer to the mix, they're now even harder to stop. This also eases the burden off LeBron and allows the Lakers to play him less minutes in his 18th season, as he won't have to carry the offensive load. Trading for Schroeder was an amazing acquisition by the Lakers. The next major signing I want to talk about is Wesley Matthews. This is another good pickup for the Lakers. By adding Matthews, the Lakers get a 3-and-D player, which you always need alongside LeBron. LeBron is one of the best rim attackers in the league, and he plays super efficiently. Surrounding him with shooting nearly guarantees that your team is going to be a contender. Wesley Matthews is a career 38% three-point shooter, and he's pretty solid defensively. He may not start, but he's going to be an important rotation piece for the Lakers next year, which makes this another solid pickup. Lastly, JaVale McGee decided to exercise his player option, which is another big W for the Lakers. McGee only played about 20 minutes a game for LA this year, but he was valuable as their starting center. The days of McGee as the star of Shaq to the full are over, as McGee has become a really good rebounder and defender on defense, and a really good finisher around the basket on offense. The Lakers getting their starting center back for next year is another good move for them. All in all, the moves that the Lakers have made has been nothing short of spectacular. The Lakers would have been fortunate just to re-sign their guys, but the Lakers did even better as they managed to improve the roster by adding some really talented guys. The Lakers do have more moves to make in free agency, but it's safe to say at this point that the Lakers are easily the biggest winner in the offseason, especially when you consider that other teams in the West aren't having nearly a good time. The Warriors just lost Klay Thompson for another season, which is pretty much the nail in the coffin in any hope that they're going to win a title next year. I know they picked up Kelly Oubre, but he's nowhere near the two-way player that Klay is. This is a devastating loss. The Clippers roster proved to be inferior to the Lakers last year when they blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets in the second round, and they just lost some valuable depth by not only losing Montrez Harrell to the Lakers, but they also traded Landry Shamet to the Nets, who was a great three-point shooter for them. The Nuggets also got weaker as they lost Jeremy Grant to the Pistons, and he was a really good 3-and-D player for them. So far this offseason, the Lakers have gotten better, while the main teams that they're going to have to compete against in the West have all gotten weaker. The toughest competition to the Lakers' title run looks like it'll come out east. As of right now, it appears the Lakers have a great chance to get back to the finals and repeat as champions in 2021. And with that said, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. What do you guys think of these moves? Will the Lakers win it all next year? Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day.